Just hanging out and shit, you know.
That's just like your thing if you're thinking about that.
Dude, what the H was that? You're watching Six Deep. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest podcast from formerly our living room, now our dining room. You're watching Six Deep with your favorite hosts, Piss
and Chris.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Got an exciting, probably one of the best shows.
Why don't you tell them about the most obvious change right
well,
here, buddy?
I think everybody's going to notice that we made a deal with ISIS. We made a deal, okay? We made a deal. We said, we want you to build us a set. We want you to build us a set. And so we've got this beautiful thing here behind us. We've got this beautiful thing here behind us. You guys will notice that the beer-ometer is blocked by my microphone, but it's right here. Look at that. And we are starting officially at 1 ball. So we are...
Dude, let's start by moving that shit because we've been drinking. We're pre-gaming these episodes.
What are we doing? Moving it?
I think we should go to code level yellow.
Oh, okay. Well, this is an establisher.
So, hey, we've got a dry run of our new equipment here.
This is an establisher. So we're gonna start with code level green.
Nice.
Because I make the rules around this show. That's right. We're gonna try not to swear this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Because Chris and I watched the last couple episodes and we're like, that's getting a little ridiculous. But yeah, so we're back. We got the Six Deep poster and everything. Got a fern now. Oh, ferns.
Last night we tried to do an episode, and I think it's kind of funny because I had to like reteach Piss how to shotgun a beer.
What happened, Chris?
And well, we just got too drunk and then sleepy, and then and then we didn't do the show.
There's a lot of false starts to this show.
There's a lot of nights where we try.
People think like, oh, that's got to be an amazing show, right? To just sit there and get hammered with your best guy buddy.
Oh, this guy's not my best friend. Let's get that out of the way right now.
You're my best friend.
Oh,
just hanging with my best friend guy.
By the way, we're doing a robe episode.
Yeah, well, Chris...
First episode on the other set was robes, so why not the first episode on this set?
Not only that, but Chris has been rocking the robe, and I was like, why should he get to have all the fun? So now I'm Van Robin. So, yeah.
You know what really sucks is the hair places not being open, because I really need an effing haircut.
Yeah, really bad.
Self-censor on that.
Really bad. That's why I've been wearing hats in the last 2 episodes, because I'm like, come on, I don't buy this. Like, this is ridiculous. I went into the grocery store with just my normal hair, and the lady was just like, just go. Just leave now. It's like, okay. Is it because of the quarantine? She's like, no, it's because of that. I almost swore again. It's because of that mop. You know what we should do? We should get a swear jar for the show and just have it like dead center. And anytime we swear, we just like drop a nickel into it or whatever spare change we have.
Well, I think swearing is okay to a degree, but it just got goofy on the last couple episodes. So maybe we can avoid that.
It got really goofy.
Dude, tell me something I don't know, Piss. Let's listen to this.
So this was like super cutting news. Yesterday, when we were supposed to record this episode, Bernie Sanders kind of dropped out of the race. That was pretty nuts.
Emphasis on the word "kinda" because he kept all of his delegates, and he said he's still open to getting more delegates. Which means, is he really out?
I want the top 1% of delegates.
I did. I saw his speech where he's like, "It's not good to be infighting against the Democratic Party. It's the Democrat Party, not Democratic." It's an easy mistake to make.
Dude, the best joke I've heard so far, by the way, there was like a little Twitter, picture or whatever, and somebody said, wow, like 3 weeks into socialism and Bernie bails.
Yeah. Hey, there's
pretty good.
Some on socialist news here.
Yeah.
They're supposed to, the IRS is supposed to be fast-tracking the payment out to everybody if you have a direct deposit. So if you did a digital direct deposit on your taxes last year or the year before.
Did you do a direct deposit?
I'm going to spend one of mine. Fuck, I hope so, dude. I really hope so, because that would be...
I know I did not.
$13 in their account. And it's supposed to be as soon as, like, Monday. Basically, by Friday next week, I think a lot of people are supposed to have it. If you make under $90,000 a year, I think you get $1,300.
I'm screwed then, bro. I'm just cutting off too much cheese to get paid by the government, I guess. No, I'm definitely getting $1,000.
I still file as a sound engineer, so I'm definitely getting the max refund.
I file as Chris's dependent.
Stimulus. So, Yeah, what's Cheese Industries gonna do in this hard time?
Oh, dude, I'm thinking Cheese Industries should apply for one of those like bailout loans for like $250,000 or something, or however much they give to businesses.
That'd be fucking
awesome. And then we should just like buy a studio, but like keep the same same look. But then you like zoom the camera out, and there's like, you know, people with like, you know, push carts and like, you know, roadies and stuff in the background. That'd be dope.
I am the roadie. I make the rock go.
Dude, so we've obviously been locked in the house just like everybody else has, and
Which
the
has been
last
kind of a change and kind of not a change.
I don't even think it was the last episode. I think it was the episode before the last episode. We made a Tenacious D. I made it, or you made no. I made a Tenacious D reference about like rising like a phoenix or something, and then I put Rise of the Phoenix, like a little clip of that into the episode. And ever since then, I've been song bombed 24/7 for like what's felt like weeks now.
And now he's got me, so that's annoying.
So-
So we just watched like 2 straight days of Tenacious D every
Two,
Wonderboy.
we watched way more than that. And then if anybody's just super bored and they're just looking for content, Guitar Rings.
Guitar rings.
Yeah, it's a YouTube channel with Kyle Gass and the unsung hero of Tenacious D, the guy that like plays all their backup guitar fills and does like their harmonies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd say it's as or more interesting than this podcast.
Oh, so it's not nearly as interesting as this podcast, but you know, they try, and that's all that's important. So if you're looking for the best content from 8 years ago, that's why like you know, I don't worry about this show at all, because you know, most people, I feel like the mental fabric is breaking down across the world, and then he just gets up and walks off the fucking set. There's one of my swears. Oh, nice. I feel like time doesn't truly exist anymore, and I'll tell you why. Because back in the day, we used to have this thing called a television, and they would have like regular scheduled programming on. So like the 60s were different than the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2K, and today. And then all of a sudden after that, when the internet started going, then all of a sudden you can, like, there's people watching the Friends TV show for the first time right now, and it's like 30 years old. I just think that's incredible. So I know that in like 8 years from now, Piss and Chris are going to be like on billboards and at the top of a skyscraper with super good ad budgets. Yeah. So we got the ukulele working again. Funny thing too, I posted that on like Craigslist or some shit, and it had like this huge Bad Religion sticker on it, and some kid was like, "Yeah, I'll buy it if you take the sticker off." So I spent like an hour and a half peeling that sucker off, and I finally get it off, and I write him back. I'm like, "Hey, dude, just wanted to let you know I got the sticker off," and he's like, "Nah, I'm good." So I tuned it up, cleaned it off, just dusted that sucker, and now we've got a brand new axe to play with. Well, you're pulling that up. Did you hear about the fire tornadoes?
No, dude, Fire Tornadoes. That sounds dope as fuck.
Yeah, I found out that there's
this song's called Fire Tornadoes.
This song is called Fire Tornadoes. I found out that there's this like rare phenomenon where, like, you know, if tornadoes start up in areas that have fires, it can like suck the fire into it, and then it makes like a fire tornado.
That sounds fucking terrifying and dangerous.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of neat.
Just bust it out, dude. What's a fact? What's
Should we just go straight into facts?
Yeah,
because I don't want to lose the audience. These guys are, I don't know why I keep pointing down here. The audience is right here, but they paid hard-earned money to not pay money to watch this, and we need to make sure that we're going to do speed facts until
what you guys paid for this. I want you to get every penny back.
Yeah, I'm going to show a picture. I'm going to put a graphic up right now of a sinkhole. This has been Chris's new favorite thing.
Yeah, my new favorite thing is to look up on YouTube sinkholes.
Yeah. And there was,
you watch people's entire lives in the span of like a half hour.
They have insurance. They've got insurance.
Do you get sinkhole insurance, or is that like an act of God or something? Or
well, it's
I can just see the insurance company being like, "Yeah, but that's the sinkhole. Well, you're in a floodplain, yeah, but you're not."
It does cover floods, does not actually cover sinkholes, though. A flood is water above the ground, sinkhole underneath. So, yeah, anyway, your premium's going up by $4,000, and you'll never see your children again.
I don't think I have kids.
Not anymore, not after the fucking sinkhole got them. Moving on to the next thing. Yeah, this was some sad news, everybody. Sad news. Flashing on the screen, sad news. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I had an opportunity to get a neon sign. And the neon sign said...
This is a fucking heartbreaker,
It
folks.
said Zima. I don't know if I'm doing that the correct way. Zima. There you go. And it said triple X, 3 X's underneath, which... Come on, that's the hero you never knew to ask for. But the Zima sign was a light-up neon Zima sign.
It was clean, too. It was really clean looking, and it would have been...
Super clean. It would have gone somewhere in this area here. It would have. But, yeah, you know, I messaged the guy and told him, you know, how important it was to our show that we have this because Zima was our unofficial sponsor, which I hope we bring Zima back. I really want to make...
is saying to some stranger, hey, it's important for our podcast that you've never heard of before. Don't give a shit about.
I didn't tell him that. I just said my son who has cancer, his name is Zima, and he always wanted to...
He wanted one last thing.
Yeah, his favorite, you know... now I'm forgetting the guy's name. Pimp My Ride guy. What's his name?
Oh, Exhibit?
Exhibit. Yeah, didn't he have like a triple X album? Somebody like DMX or somebody had like a triple X album. Right? No. What's his name?
Movie
Vin Diesel did. Vin Diesel had triple X. So I should have said, yeah, my son who has cancer, whose name is Zima, which I know is a bitchin' name for a made up son. And then on top of that, his favorite movie was it called Triple X? I don't even know. I'm sure it was.
It was a horrible movie, and I remember
this bit's going on for a lot longer than I wanted to. But anyway,
I went to the movies for something else, and then I stumbled across a movie ticket on the ground. It said like adult, it's like $6, and then Triple X, and I was like, what an unfortunate movie title.
You know that's exactly why that guy pitched
somebody bought
it
the
too.
adults ticket to that movie or whatever, and
yeah. I wonder how bad it would have been if there was a kids ticket for Triple X.
Children's Triple X.
Children's. Tune in tonight. So yeah, we tried to get the Zima sign. The guy basically told us to go pound sand, so we are Zima-less in Phoenix, and pretty bummed out about that. And that wraps up our sad news segment.
Yeah, the guy's had the thing forever, so you'd think that he'd be down to, part with it on the cheap. So I think it wasn't part of the deal. We'd have to drive all the way down to Central Phoenix to get it.
Well, he wanted way too much money for it, and I gave him a fair offer, a very fair offer, which he rejected. And then I was like, I'll put 20 extra bucks on that fair offer, and he's like, still rejected. And then his line was, I've held on to it for this long, I'll hold on to it for a little longer. And I'm thinking, is there somebody else out there who's so passionate, more passionate than we are about Zima?
I've never seen that expression, one man's trash is another man's treasure, you know? Come to light. So, how on earth could you possibly... You're out there, you're trying to get rid of the sign, you're like, somebody out there has to have some kind of connection to this thing, right?
Yeah.
But who the fuck still drinks Zima? It's been... a decade since that stuff's been on the shelves.
Over a decade,
Way
dude.
long,
So, what did we
and
say?
Then here
2000.
comes the guy who's excited to buy, cash in hand, ready to go. And the
I'm
guy's
there,
like,
man. I'm there. I'm here, ready to buy. And the guy's like, nope, I'm gonna hold out. I think there's, there's a guy right behind you that's gonna be like, dude, I can't believe
That's
you.
the one time when the guy could be like, well, another guy put on a bid. It's like, bullshit.
Bullshit. Yeah, I know there's not another.
Call bullshit,
and then plus it says
I'll give you
$6.
$5.
It says it was posted
across the table.
6 months ago, and the guy's like, I got a good feeling though. I think any day now it's just gonna pop. And then for he's holding out for an extra $20, you know. And it's out of pride that I won't pay the extra 20 because I already went up 20. But it's that's a little dude's getting
Sounds like you need to do a little down east dickering.
Yeah, I was trying to do some dickering, buddy. I was trying to do some dickering.
Me and Piss stumbled upon our new favorite TV show.
Dickering Down East.
Down East Dickering.
And that's a Down East Dickering. That's right.
Yep.
And it's available on Amazon Prime. If you guys
the
have
show where the
or Prime
title
Video
makes
or
zero
whatever.
sense.
Yeah, but
and
you watch
the intro seed makes no sense as well.
Yeah, and then you watch the show, which also makes no sense. But you get to hear the word dickering a lot, and for my money, that's
One guy's
entertainment.
teaching his son. He's like, "Yeah, my boy's gonna learn how to dicker."
And the boy, oh god,
the tricks of the dicker.
I feel so bad too because the son's biggest aspiration is to take over his dad's dickering. You know,
his dad is obviously ex or current meth and or alcoholic. Now that kind of damage you do to your skin on your face, that's more than booze. That guy's. Which I want to hear more facts, fucker.
Oh, you want to hear facts? Okay. Well, Well, anyway, to finish up my point earlier, in Pennsylvania, we found out that there's this thing called like the Singing Rocks, whatever, forest or something like that, or
I want to go there.
park or something. Yeah,
Where was
and
that located?
it's in PA.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what I want to do is
Ben.
right. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna try and set up a GoFundMe.
BA and PA.
A GoFund us for going to PA to go and see Ben, and then take Ben over to the Singing Rocks, where you guys can do percussion on the rock thing, which I guess is a thing.
We'll record
and then
a video there.
and then we'll record a video, and then that'll make everything all worth it, and the fans will love it, and we'll become overnight
so you got a couch for us
sensations.
to crash on for the twins, right?
Oh, dude, we can sleep in the back of the Lexus. I got this.
You just point us to like a little pile of dirty clothes on the floor, and we'll just kind of curl up. We'll just get hammered, and you can pretty much sleep anywhere.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to point out, too, this will be still part of our news segment kind of thing. Not sad news. This is just, this is messed up news anyway.
Sad news.
Well, the sad news was the Zima sign getting away. You know, nobody wants to.
So that was the sad news segment. What is
yeah,
the next
the
news
the
segment?
regular bummer news or whatever is the whole like what is that called, the federal stay inside program thing or law or mandate or whatever,
shelter in place.
Shelter in place, and I don't know what it's called in the UK. I'm assuming it's something like that, but the UK police have gone so far to enforce this crazy law thing going on that they're flying drones now to catch people like taking their dog for a walk, or taking
That's
a stroll
fucked up.
through a park or whatever, and people are ratting out their neighbors and stuff.
Our next door neighbor, California. Wait, that is not our next door neighbor, is it?
California?
Yeah,
California's
no, it totally is.
next door. I mean,
All of a sudden, I'm looking at a map.
I was going to say our next door neighbor is most definitely in Phoenix, but California too.
But anyways, California is supposed to have a $1,000 fine for anybody who violates the shelter in place thing, and I'm like, doesn't California also have like one of the largest epidemics of homelessness?
Homeless people.
So
Can
if
we
you're
flash like a
homeless guy
homeless people
without-
graphic?
I mean, by definition, you'd be a guy without a home, without a shelter,
Or just
to
less of a home, yeah.
stay in place. In certain
Sir, we're going to need you
within
to stay
the-
in your tarp. We're going to need you to stay in your tarp.
Before the whole coronavirus thing, I heard like there was like outbreaks of leprosy and like ancient disease.
Oh,
and
they
stuff.
weren't doing good before. So this was just like a
So conspiracy time with Piss and Chris. Play that graphic.
conspiracy time with Piss and Chris.
I kind of thought earlier today out loud to Piss. I was like, man, I think what if this virus was just a way to like clean up a lot of the people on the streets?
Taking it to the streets.
Right now in New York,
Taking it to
Chicago,
the streets.
probably Detroit, and L.A., all over California. There's a crazy
Louisiana.
homeless epidemic,
Yeah.
if you will. So what way to cure said epidemic than with a pandemic? And
Oh, dude, yeah.
I think they're wiping out homeless people.
Yeah.
Bro.
No, I think I have a bunch of different conspiracies. Conspiracy number one from Piss.
And then what about the? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, conspiracy number one. I think that Greta Thunberg. You're taking away our dreams. Whatever. Ruined
You've stolen my
you stolen my
childhood and
dreams.
my
Yeah.
freedom, my dreams.
So after her dreams were stolen, I think that they didn't get the vitriol that they wanted. And so then they were like, what we'll do? We'll make a virus, or we'll hype up a flu or something like that, and then get everybody to
the
stay in.
virus already coincides with the major flu that hits every year.
We'll get it.
So if you got sick recently and you got fine again, you might not have had the corona. You might have just had the flu.
Yeah. So that makes everybody stay inside. And then I'm sure everybody's seen it on Facebook and social media. They're saying like, oh, well, since everybody's been inside, look at that. There's deer walking through, downtown, whatever.
Oh, yeah,
And there's
that
look at all these
narrative
plants
started creeping
growing.
up.
Oh, the
look,
rivers in Venice and stuff just
greatest
cleaned up.
plague on Earth, man left. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
nature came
So
to
maybe the
fulfill-
virus was really
fill in the gap.
humans the whole time. And so I think that's conspiracy number two. What was the other conspiracy? Oh, conspiracy number three coronavirus was simply a mechanism to cap a bull market. The market was going up for like the longest amount of time ever in history.
The stock market he's referring to.
Stock market, yeah, and you know, there has to really be like a correction in order for people to make like a lot of money, you know, and so and also to like, you know, revalue the stocks. And I'm not an expert. I'm sure somebody can you know, explain that a lot better. But anyway, everybody know curve go up, curve go down, you know. So anyway, so it had to go down, and so I think that they're using the coronavirus to correct the market. And the reason I'm saying this is, you know, I've been watching the stock market since coronavirus started, and you know, as soon as they said, like, as soon as Dr. what's his name, Fauci or whatever said, oh yeah, looks like we're getting close to, you know, being okay, you know, all of a sudden, boom, stock market skyrockets, you know, and it's like, wait a second, we have 6 million people out of work, the highest amount of applications for unemployment and stuff like that, and then the stock market goes through the roof. Especially airlines, like, dude, nobody's flying right now, and all the airlines rebound. They're not perfect, but they all went. I mean, they're definitely not going down anymore.
Nobody's
they're all
flying. Nobody's on a cruise ship. Nobody's doing anything.
Yeah.
That is certainly like international travel. I think that's highly discouraged. In fact, I don't know if there's anything keeping you from traveling internationally right now. I mean, I know that there was the China ban and all that stuff. I don't even know if that exists still.
the China. Well, yeah, that's a good question.
But I'm
I don't
sure
know.
you'd get some dirty looks or something. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Conspiracy.
You'd get treated like a king right now if you got on an airplane, because there's probably nobody.
No, I think they'd still figure out a way to treat you like crap on the airlines. They'll be like, yeah, we were going to give peanuts on this flight, but screw that guy. No peanuts.
Airline industry is the only industry that continues to get more and more expensive every year, and their service continues to get worse and worse, and everybody's just totally fine with it. That blows my mind.
Next conspiracy is the oil conspiracy. And my oil conspiracy is that basically like the three major some, not China, but some of the big superpowers, you know, Russia, US, and God, why am I forgetting the third one?
Like Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia, yeah. They were the three big ones that are oil producers for the world. And you know that the Saudis have gotten really upset because North America in general, like Canada, makes a ton of oil and stuff like that too, but they're not a part of this little deal here or whatever. But anyway, OPEC has been in a feud trying to figure out what to do with all this extra crude oil and stuff like that. So I think what they did was it's like a giant Mexican standoff where they're like, your move, dude. So they like shut down the whole world, and they're like, nobody's using gas. All that stuff's just going straight. I mean, it's worthless now. They don't even. They can't possibly put any more oil anywhere. They're putting it on the oil tankers to store it and stuff like that. There's nowhere for it to go. Nobody's driving right now, so nobody's using it. So oil prices have, in effect, just completely tanked to the point where Trump has had to say, like, oh, we capped it. Like, we're just not. You know, we're just leaving the oil in the ground.
At the pumps today to figure out what gas is going.
Well, that's funny because Arizona. I just looked at it like a couple days ago. California always is just ridiculously high because they've got the most like state taxes tacked onto it. Arizona was also really high.
I feel like it was still in like the high $2.
Yeah, but I was looking at the possible Philadelphia road trip thing, you know, and what I found was like the states that you would go from Arizona up to that area would be, you know, some of them are definitely sub $2, so some of them are in like the dollar somethings or whatever. But Arizona was one of the higher ones, which I thought was kind of weird, you know. And then there's, I mean, obviously like Hawaii and Alaska are always expensive too because of, you know, remoteness. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. So that's my last conspiracy. I don't know if you have any other.
My other conspiracy with coronavirus is who does it? Actually, I guess it's a two-prong conspiracy. One prong is who does it affect, and the answer is like, or disproportionately. Age-wise would be elderly people. I think a lot of elderly people are probably where you're getting a lot of your conservative votes from. So if you were to be in control of something like this and wanted to do a really nasty thing that would swing the vote in the favor of the left, maybe release a giant disease that gets rid of like half of the Fox News viewership in one go. The other thing that we found out today that's interesting, that even the hilariously poor-spoken what is it, Surgeon General, who's like, we got some serious stuff going on here, guys.
Yeah, Mike Tyson, our new Surgeon General.
A really bad lisp, and then on top of it, he's like, so we got to take care of our abuelas, our big mamas,
our mama jams,
mama jamma,
Papa Daddy,
dooblies.
Yeah.
And then they're like, so some people might think that that's kind of a disrespectful way of speaking or referring to it. He's like, hey, I got Big Mama in my family.
I always call my grandpappy Flapjack. Like, that's my thing,
How
you
is
know?
it that every white guy now is like, they're like, hey, that's disrespectful. And the white guy's like, yeah, I'm actually like 72% Puerto Rican. So that's totally fine. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I think that's
we
kind
can't
of...
all be from
Puerto
Rico. Man.
That does play into my
the disproportionate
yeah,
thing,
that plays into my stock market conspiracy though. Not the Lisp dude or whatever, but the the Surgeon General. But the stock market crash, who has the most money in the stock market would probably be the baby boomer generation or the older generation, right? Because they're already in the retirement
so how do you
phase
scoop
and
that money out of there.
So how do you redistribute that wealth basically? And I think that because a lot of people when the market went down, they just panic sold because they don't have enough time left in their life to wait for a 10-year rebound like what happened last time. So a lot of people sold and they ended up buying gold, which gold is actually still going up surprisingly, which I thought was kind of interesting, but it makes sense because it's not going to be we're not going to be in a good place here for a while. So it makes sense that gold's still going up even though the market's going up too. But it makes a lot of sense that like a lot of the boomers panicked, sold off. Now they have their money in cash, or they reinvested it in gold or something like that. And then, all the youngins went in like, I'm definitely not a youngin, but I went in and just like threw money at the market, all $20 for my Zima sign, and trying to ride it out, win big, on the Corona crisis. I want to see if I can buy a whole. If this $20 bet works out, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take that money and reinvest it. I'm going to relaunch Zima, and we're going to make Zima great again. Hashtag, we didn't forget, never forget, hashtag make Zima great again. So if you're paying attention right now, if you're still alive, if you're too lazy, just write hashtag Zima, and I'll understand it. I'll be like, you know what? I get it. Typing with your thumbs is a lot of work right now.
Hashtag Zima. Okay, so my second conspiracy theory, or third, or whatever it's been, is that it's a little strange how disproportionately affected the African American and Hispanic communities.
Just the minority community in general, yeah.
At the very beginning of the coronavirus, there's like a bunch of videos of famous black people going like, that this virus doesn't affect black people, right? And there's like, they're like, oh, are you scared, man? There's like some famous rapper or some sports guy or some shit. Or he's like, nah, man, it doesn't affect black people. And that stuck out to me a couple weeks ago. And then turns out, holy shit!
But
some of the worst affected populations are black folks and Hispanic folks, and so the Surgeon General gets up and goes like, he's saying, yeah, I mean it's actually true, and it sounded for a while like it was some kind of CNN talking point, like here's another reason why minorities should hate Trump or whatever. Turns out, no, like the facts are dead on. It is affecting those populations. And so the Surgeon General comes out. He's like, well, it could be due to lifestyle and stuff like that. So things to avoid if you are a minority, maybe smoking, drinking, drugs, fried chicken. That kind of, it's like, they're like, dude, the
Surgeon General said some shit today where I was just like, man, I don't know. I mean,
to prepare for this, we listened to a 2-hour-long Trump press conference with everybody, involved in on the media side and in the government side. Holy God, was it boring? But that was the funniest thing I took out of it was this dude just.
Well, I just thought the abuela, my grandpappy, all that stuff. I was like, and the fact that the reporter caught it and was like, so, sir, can you explain to us why you think that grandpappy, mammy, and abuela were the right word choices today? And he's just like, yeah, I call my grandpappy. It's not a big deal.
Actually 97% African.
But the thing that caught me though was there was like a few like it was like a rappers or something like that were talking about. I forget, but it was like prominent black figures that were talking about the fact that they couldn't get coronavirus or something like that.
It was like clips from the Breakfast Club.
The example they cited, or the proof that they cited, was that because of melanin, that meant that they couldn't get the virus or something. And I'm like sitting here YouTubing that shit. I'm like, melanin like prevents. I'm like, man, you'd think that they'd make like a melanin antiviral pill or something that everybody could take, and it's like. You don't get the virus or something. But yeah, that was the
dumb information getting passed around.
No, but I was, as soon as because I heard this like a week or so ago, I was like, shit, I wish I had some more melanin. I was sitting outside tanning and shit. Like maybe that'll help,
It was interesting to me, like how, how strong they were in their opinion. and how they can say something with such conviction when they're so obviously wrong. People like that, like on a daily basis, astound me. Like, I know a lot about a certain few things, but if you just say something really authoritative to me, I know that I also don't know a lot of stuff about those things. And you can like totally trip me on that, like, and I'll be like, "Oh, maybe this guy knows some more." And he
there's so much disinfo right now, though.
Say things so wrong, but so authoritatively, and you're just like, "Well, shit, maybe he's right." I don't know.
Oh, there's so much disinfo out there right now. Like I just heard. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, I got to do one of those too. All right, let's officially move this up, guys. Hold on. Code level yellow, which that is like, oh man, I got to tell you about the LEDs, right? So I would you believe that this set cost me less than a Zima sign? I really pieced this pile of garbage together, and anyway, like the only thing that I really had to buy, I can you believe that I only had to buy one thing for this incredible masterpiece? I bought the LED strips or whatever, and I bought them off of Amazon. And I was searching for like super bright, ultra whatever LEDs because they have to show up with the lights and everything. And so I get this thing.
Pass me the remote as you're telling the story.
Yeah, I get this thing in the mail, and I put it up and turn it on. I was so disappointed. But the idea, which I think you guys are totally appreciating right now, is that when we switch the code levels, did I announce it? I think I did, right? Code level yellow. The idea is that when we change the code level, we should be able to change the LED color. And then that way you guys at home can follow along and be like, if you're tuning in late, you can be like, oh my God, look at that. They're already at code level orange.
That does not come across as yellow on camera.
Yeah, the yellow one's pretty weak. And what's really funny is if we had like code level purple or code level blue, we'd be really set.
I would say use these three right here. Boop, boop, and boop for yellow, orange, and red.
Yeah, well, whatever.
There you go. That's my suggestion. We're still working out the kinks.
It like almost looks like blue or something on the...
We've got a secret controller that controls the set.
Yeah.
This will be hidden in future episodes. That'll be our little secret, buddy.
Yeah? Oh, I shouldn't show the remote of truth. Let's give them a little something.
That was something we learned from watching all the... nice. That was something we learned from all watching the tons and tons. Yeah, you get some good thigh cam there, folks. That's for you at home.
Some tham.
The Tenacious D movie, Pick a Destiny, we watched the behind the scenes, and I learned something I guess I had never caught before. But when Jack meets Kyle Gass on the beach when he's busking, playing music for money or whatever on the side of the sidewalk in Venice Beach. I think it's Venice Beach. Anyways, Jack begs him to be a part of his band. He falls and he's like, "Dude, you're the greatest guitar player of all time." All this stuff, and Kyle's like, "Dude, you're cramping my space." And at the end of their initial meeting, he flicks a pick at Jack's head, and Jack picks it up and it says KG on it or whatever. And the director, who's also, I didn't know this, he's the lead singer of the United States of whatever.
That was a solo project, so that wasn't. But yeah, I was really surprised by that too. Liam Lynch.
Yeah, something Lynch.
Yeah, something Liam Lynch. I think it is Liam Lynch. Yeah.
But that guy was the director of the movie and their music videos and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, that pick that he flicks at Jack's head and it lands in the sand. Jack picks it up and looks at it with the initials written in Sharpie on the white pick, KG. That is the pick of destiny that draws them together. It's not this green pick that was forged in hell by Satan and all this stuff."
'Cause it's the pick of destiny. Yeah.
I just thought that was it. I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. The real pick of their destiny was that little shitty white pick. That's what initiated their friendship, and that's when they started hanging out, and then Tenacious D was born.
Yeah, and I think it was
I thought that was interesting.
No, it's super interesting. I totally forgot where I was going with that. I had something for that. Totally lost it. Fucking lost it. Let's move on to some facts, buddy.
Please.
Chris has been craving them. I know the audience is just like, damn, piss, where's the facts
we're trying to retool the show a little bit. It's what do you like to hear when you're drinking? And a lot of times at the bar, it's just fun when you have somebody tell you some just crazy shit or some gnarly stories. So...
Well, okay, before we
hear crazy facts and stuff.
So before we get into a lot of the this will be like facts light in the beginning here, and then we're going to go fact heavy in a bit. But the one of the other things I wanted to point out too is that I don't know if anybody else is noticing this, but it seems like, life is coming back. I mean, there's a lot of cars driving around now, at least in our area.
Yeah, what's it look like in your hometown? Is there food on the shelves? Are there cars driving by during the day, or is it still?
I have to say the grocery stores are a lot less crowded now, and stuff's starting to come back. And I think we're all, the
follow-up question: are people still wearing face masks by you?
The worst part, though, and I pointed this out to Chris earlier, but the worst part is this new line I keep hearing in like every commercial, and they're like, for the new reality. Just because you're in the new reality doesn't mean you can't enjoy, Russell's stovetop.
Whole psyop, man. The government's like force retraining every citizen in this country, and then with a bunch of fear, they're gonna change how we interact with each other.
Oh, can I do one more conspiracy time? All right. One more. The other conspiracy I have is that they're using this epidemic to keep everybody in their houses, get them really bored, and then get them used to virtual reality by using programs like Zoom and FaceTime and Skype and whatever, all those kind of things. And they're doing that to really pump up Oculus Rift or whatever the virtual reality stuff is, so that people let me just tune out. Oh my god, I don't live in a world of the virus anymore. I'm a superhero and I've got a cape and I'm fighting crime and my life has meaning.
I think it's conceivable that those companies are jumping on a good thing like this because, hey, their whole deal is entertaining people while they're at home. What better time could there possibly be business-wise for a company like YouTube, Netflix, Oculus Rift, all that kind of stuff? They're probably capitalizing off of it, but whether or not they were the nefarious actors that, I doubt.
Well, speaking of that too, but
the oil industry, Chinese markets, and all that kind of stuff, and global markets, that kind of stuff. That now you're talking something so big and so financially good or bad for certain countries that would be worth releasing a global pandemic and all this shit, dude.
Hold on, more on this conspiracy though, and then I'll remember that thought though. The other thing, Zoom. I had mentioned that earlier. Zoom has become kind of the prominent thing now. If you want to do FaceTimes with people at work or whatever, corporate meetings or church meetings or whatever.
Is it Zoom with an N?
Zoom, Zoom.
Going fast,
Zoom, yeah. Which is funny because I thought Zoom was like a new program for buying cars or something like that, but apparently it's this whatever, different thing. Maybe two different companies were, but so they got people really used to using Zoom. And again, I've been following the stock market, looking at Zoom. Zoom exploded as soon as the coronavirus hit. Same with DocuSign, which is a digital document signing app that you can use or whatever, for legal documents or buying a house or all that kind of stuff. And so both of those really popped, and then all of a sudden, everybody's doing their meetings, all that kind of stuff on Zoom. And then there's this thing that came out called Zoom bombing. Have you heard of that term?
No.
Zoom bombing. So what had happened is, everybody's given a link, just like on a conference call for a company conference call or whatever, you're given a call-in number and a code and stuff to get in there. Well, on Zoom, you had a link you had to click on to get into the meeting and stuff. Well, somehow people were manipulating these links or whatever. And if you can get into those meetings, I mean, you could be listening to the president of the United States talk to somebody else or other world leaders or, I think it was an Asian, it was an Asian country. I think it was Taiwan or something like that made Zoom basically illegal. They won't let them use it in their country or schools because there was people Zoom bombing into classrooms and stuff like that. But anyway, there was this huge
boring thing to hack into, man.
Are you kidding me, dude? You could be like I said, you could be whatever, you're watching Hulk Hogan take a dump in the morning or whatever, talking to somebody or something.
Classrooms and shit, that'd be boring.
Well, yeah, classrooms, but I'm just saying, think of the conversations you could.
Last time I saw Trump doing one of those face straight in the camera shot deals, they showed the behind the scenes on something, his Twitter or something, or maybe it was one of the late night shows were making fun of him. Anyways, I noticed he had a whole Cisco rig in front of him, so a lot of huge companies still use Cisco to do all their.
Oh, Cisco's massive.
For smaller companies, I bet you something like Zoom would be a really cheap, maybe something different than Skype or whatever.
But anyway, so as soon as that privacy concern came out, Zoom tanked, and their stock value did. And then I can't remember. I think it was Microsoft or Apple. It was one of the big technical superpowers, but they hired one of their huge ex employees or whatever that dealt with those kind of security concerns and stuff, and that's their way of like, oh yeah, we're gonna figure this out. But I just think that's crazy. Like and like I was just over at like my parents' place a couple days ago and stuff like that, and like they're like, oh, can you help us set up Zoom? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, and it's like there could just be like perverts watching your mom do church meetings or something. I don't know, but it's just kind of crazy. So, but I think that also kind of plays into the conspiracy that it's like, okay, well, if you can get everybody,
like, if you told people like a decade or two ago, hey man, we're gonna put cameras in everybody's house, you as the homeowner would have been like, fuck that, no way, absolutely not gonna happen. Now, 10 years later, if Google or Amazon or any of these other companies that supply smart home, products,
yeah.
If they just say, hey, there's a discount on these cameras that you set all over your house, and they're totally controlled by Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all that kind of stuff, like these extremely easy to impregnate signals and stuff like that, people are fucking lining up to buy this stuff left and right. That's crazy to me. Like, you would never want Big Brother in your house, but if it's on sale and, what's Amazon's Digital Friday or whatever, Digital Christmas or
or Cyber Monday.
Monday, yeah. It's like, if it's on sale on Cyber Monday, give me a bunch of Big Brother shit for my house. I'll pay for it.
Isn't that funny too?
I'll pay the government to surveil me.
You think about, I think it was Orson Welles, right, that did 1984.
Yeah.
You think about that. That book, for example, and I think he was so far off because. Yes, by 1984, it was not nearly as bad as I think he originally thought it was going to be. Definitely already on the verge of it because they had like communications and stuff like that. But I think if he looked at it now, he would just be like, "This is so screwed up, guys! You guys are holding you're holding two cameras in your hand at any given time, and you're and shoot, we're sitting in front of one voluntarily right now, It's our fourth wall break. But
I remember when we were deep in the conspiracy thing, we were listening to these two guys chatting that sounded like they really knew what they were talking about. Smart government types. And one said to the other, there's really no place on planet Earth now at this point in time. This is 10 years ago, I think, that we heard about all this stuff. But there's no place on planet Earth. You could go out to the middle of a barren field someplace, try to have a private conversation with somebody, and you still cannot have a private conversation. There's no place where you can have a private conversation on Earth. That's basically what the guy was getting at. So,
yeah,
there's technology where you can shoot lasers and parabolic reflectors at windows, and the windows will carry vibrations from conversations, and you can pick pieces up after people leave a room. There's all sorts of crazy shit out there now.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Not to mention the fact that everybody's carrying a microphone on their person at all times.
But it's voluntarily. Like we're like, and not only that, but we're like, dude, did you know that the new you know that the New World Order device is coming out next month? It's the New World Order 11. You gotta get it. It's got a better It's the newest model. It's got a better camera for filming yourself. It's got a better light wave to penetrate your brain. Did you watch the whole blue light thing? How like everybody's selling like, oh, these are like these glasses that filter out the harmful blue light and stuff. Have you seen all that kind of stuff?
I've heard variations of that, and I'll add to that afterwards something different.
But have you heard of it though? I mean, it's basically like saying like the blue light setting on your phone and all that stuff. They have like reader mode and all that makes it more of like a yellow color and stuff. But they proved that was like total bullshit too. By the way, it's like if you are outside in sunlight, that sunlight generally throughout the day is more powerful than not like saying you have to look into the sunlight, just the amount, what is that, the albedo rate or whatever, the brightness of light or whatever outside
I think that's the rate at which light reflects off of things. But
okay, yeah. You're probably right. But anyway, whatever the lumosity or whatever, I don't know, whatever the term is, it's significantly brighter outside than it is on your cell phone screen or whatever. So for people to think like, oh, staring at your cell phone screen or your laptop screen is going to cause like brain retina cancer, frying your eyeballs out. There's like no real.
You could probably get eye strain from it. It's got to be extremely unnatural to be in the middle of the night and staring at this extremely bright screen.
Well, strain maybe, but like if you crack the blinds open, in the morning or something like that, and it's bright outside and dark in your bedroom, that's probably more harmful than looking at your cell phone or whatever. Is basically
or comparable at the very least. God, you keep cutting me off. Okay, so one of the other things I was thinking of is flicker rate.
I still don't understand that. Yeah.
Over the years, things. I think it was like cathode ray tubes, your CRT, your old glass screen televisions that were really heavy that we just got rid of a number of years ago. Those flickered at something like 16 frames per second or something like that. 16
is that the hertz
second.
thing or whatever that they talk about?
So when they say, hey, it's a 60 or 120 or 30 hertz TV or whatever, TV or video in the United States is 29.97 frames per second or something like that. So you can round up to 30 frames per second. PAL format in Europe is slightly different. And if you ever wondered why you watch like the EastEnders or some shit, like a British television show, and then you watch an American show, and it's just got like, it's just can't put your finger on it, but something's different about the way it looks.
Yeah, it's like kind of too crisp or something.
Something like that. It's like you just notice, you're like, wow, I can automatically tell it's a British show just because it looks different. It's usually like the frame rate. I think that's different, and then it's also the frame rate being translated into American. So there's somehow
like a
NTSC from PAL or whatever. So I don't know.
Do you remember
now there's like the 60 and 120 hertz. So now it's flashing, 6 times or whatever faster.
Is that why like the I Love Lucy's and everything kind of felt so dreamy or whatever because it was like a slower frame rate or something? I don't know. I might be way
shot
out.
on
film. I guess I don't know what the anyway, but yeah, I just think I think that kind of stuff. But do you remember what the actual like frame rate for your eye? I remember hearing that term. There was like that number. They were like, oh, your eyesight's really at like 120 frames per second or something like that, and
I think
and you're watching like 60 frames per second or something.
No, I think it's probably around 30 frames per second where the human eye stops recognizing the little chops or whatever, little samples of image.
I gotta search it real quick. What? God,
I was watching something where a guy explained tracking. Like if you were watching your old TV and you had like a movie put in and the screen kept like slipping up and down and shit. There's like a whole really brilliant.
That's
that I totally forgot. But
that's actually interesting. So physiologically, we could actually the human eye can actually see up to 1,000 frames per second. But traditionally, just through day to day, your eye generally sees around 150 frames per second, and I think that's what they're talking about. I just did the Trump thing. It's really your eyes actually can see at 150 frames per second. But anyway, your eyes can see at 150 frames per second. I think that's
Here's
why
the guy who's getting tired of the Trump impression.
Yeah, right. It's not over. It's not. But
Dude, Jesse Ventura.
we try. I'm not gonna do it. What was the other? I feel like I unlocked like a different impression recently, and I can't remember who it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I think that anyway, your eye generally sees 150, but your eye can see up to 1,000 frames per second. And I bet you in like those fight or flight response modes and stuff like that, that's probably when you're like heightened sense of time when stuff really like slows down and you're able to like make the. I bet you that's when your eye sees like 1,000.
When a slow motion camera shoots, it's shooting like 12,000 frames or something like that per second, and that's how you get these extremely long, slow videos or whatever of something happening really fast, but over a long period.
How do you wear robes through a whole episode? I wish I could show you guys this, but I'm just probably like pitted down.
Yeah,
oh my god,
this set is a little warmer than the other one.
I'm dying right now.
Speaking of which, we only have a couple minutes left.
Let me finish up with some let me finish up with some facts here. So we're gonna do some speed facts.
Speed facts. Speed.
Piss on facts. There you go.
Piss facts.
Okay, you ready for this? You follow me here, camera guy? Okay.
Can you hear that dog licking herself?
Oh, dude. Okay, did you know?
I thought there was a clock in the room or something.
Did you know that potato chips are actually responsible for the most amount of weight gain for most people? So if you just knock potato chips out of your diet, you're probably going to be doing significantly better than the average person. But a Harvard study of more than 120,000 people found that potato chips were to blame for the gain of an average of 1.69 pounds per person over 4 years. Other fatteners included potatoes at 1.28 pounds, sugar-sweetened beverages at a pound, and unprocessed red meats at 0.95 pounds. So apparently, well, red meat. I mean, Chris has always been a huge proponent of like, if you want to lose weight, just knock red meat out. Which we should not be talking about weight loss right now because both you and I have ripped on about 5 pounds.
I attempted to put on weight during the last week, and I've been successful.
I did not attempt to put on weight, and I put on a shit ton of weight. I think I gained like.
After I got sick, I got like I weighed 100 and. I crossed over into like the 129 pounds or whatever. It got to the gross skinny like the
129.
Yeah,
$129.
yeah, because like I know I bottomed out at 125 the last time I went on a crazy thing, and it was like that's when I started looking dead. So
well, good for you, man. Shit.
Nah, man, it's not like that.
I mean, not
like in
yeah,
shape or anything. That's literally a guy like dying in front of you.
So yeah, if you want to lose weight,
I was like the one thing I need to do when I the first day I could like get back on my feet again. I just ate. I was like, I know if I just crank food on me, then I won't be like so. Because I got sick like 2 weeks in a row. I got sick and then better and then sick again. And I'm like, dude, my immune system or something is just shitting out on me. I'm like just too frail. So I don't know. I bulked up a little bit.
Here's something that'll make you sick again. Did you know
if
that?
you want to lose weight, do the opposite. Knock out cheese, red meat, and anything but water and coffee. So if you like, because I remember as a kid, I dropped a ton of weight just by not drinking soda pop. So whatever.
So you're just saying just don't eat anything basically to lose weight. Okay, whatever. I didn't want this to be a weight loss thing. Although I bet people are just at the edge of their seat, like, oh my god, I hope.
The funniest thing is I've been like thin for now like at least half a decade or something, and still people are telling me like how to lose weight and shit. I'm just like, fuck you. It's always fatter people that are like, nah. The way to lose weight is like, wow, if your fucking advice works so great, try it on your own fat ass.
Yeah, right. All right, so here's something that'll also make you sick. The fact that most fish that everybody in the audience here will eat, not us, of course, because we're too smart for that, but most of the fish, Chris doesn't eat fish. So.
Actually, if you're trying to lose weight, white fish is great.
Oh, my God. But did you know that most fish that you eat around the world is actually mislabeled?
Really?
Yeah, and they do that intentionally because, like a white fish is a white fish, so they'll sell, cheaper, they'll sell cheaper white fish at a more expensive, white fish's price because it basically looks the same. Even things like tuna, which is really important in like the sushi community and stuff like that, and it's a fairly distinctive, super red colored fish. They'll do that again with lower grade, cheaper fish and stuff like that. And they're saying. Snapper, like a red snapper, for example, was found to be mislabeled 87.
Brown snapper here.
Oh yeah, the nuts snapping pretty good. The red snapper was found to be mislabeled 87% of the time. Tuna was mislabeled 59% of the time.
I to the people at home.
Yeah, as far it's basically just like being speculated that there's just kind of like a grift going on in the
wouldn't
the
surprise
fish community.
me, man. Me and Piss worked in the food business, and it's muy sketchy.
Yeah, well, the next fact is about bananas, and that actually is a thing that is perfect for what we'll talk about. So, bananas cannot reproduce. And anyway, our point about bananas with the produce company we were part of. We go into this huge warehouse, and there was like a mile of conventional bananas on one side, and then like 50 boxes of like organic bananas on the other side. And the guy's like, "Oh, you want organic?" And he just pulls out like a sticker reel that says organic on it and starts putting them on all the conventionally grown bananas and stuff. He's like, "Yeah, there's your organic box." So if you think that you're buying organic produce in your grocery store, you are sadly mistaken. That's usually mislabeled because of and it's not
the largest grocery retail chain in the world, or certainly in the United States, did a deal where they put up a little kiosk thing, and they were like, "Hey, tell us which one is the conventional and which one is the organic banana." And they did it at all their stores across the United States. Everybody picked one over the other and was like adamant that this was the organic and this was the conventional, and turned out both of them were conventional, and everybody's fucking crazy. So just by saying something's organic cranks the value of the food.
Well, and not only that, but people have this misconception that the more like spots that are on the banana, like the brown spots and stuff, which are just the banana converting itself into sugar, basically. They were saying that means
it's best for eating.
Yeah. They were saying that was like an indicator of organic banana. That's just a banana that's like aging properly. Like it's not doesn't mean that it's organic. But anyway, yeah. So bananas cannot reproduce.
They
don't have seeds and stuff in them.
My dog's getting so bad that she can't lick her own anus, so she just licks her arm all the time.
Yeah, so Chris had mentioned in previous episodes about fingering the dog, and
Had to finger the dog again.
we've had to do that a lot
Oh,
lately.
she
So
stomped out my nuts. Dude, these
Yeah.
dogs, like, hey, you want to get your nuts stomped out twice a day, every day? Get a
20-pounder, yeah. Okay, Chris, I want you to. We're gonna do something fun here. You ready? I want you to hold your nose, like pinch your nose, and then hum.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. You can't try it at home. You can't pinch your nose and hum at the same time. That's
interesting.
a piss fact right there.
That's a great fact.
Yeah. See, people tune into the show. They're like, "Oh, it's probably going to be a waste of time." No, you learn important things
Dude,
like that.
Hashtag pinch me if you made it this far in the show. And I'm saying that because me and Piss are learning that song by Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah, that's
a preview and a plug.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
The other thing too, there was another famous person that died the same day that JFK died.
Another famous person?
Yeah.
Donny Osmond.
Nope, you were very close. It was C.S. Lewis.
I don't know how that was close.
Exactly. But yeah, he died the same. He died within 10 minutes of Kennedy dying. 10 minutes, and he got zero press. Everybody obviously was like, "Oh, president died," Another fact: if you use a bigger fork, right? No, I'm throwing that fact out. That fact is bullshit. This one, they're saying that. Okay, I'm correcting the reason because of the smaller fork. Okay, so if you use a big fork, supposedly, and I'm going to call bullshit on this fact, but if you use a bigger fork, so the longer tines on a fork, I think people know what a bigger fork is. We don't mean like a comedically big fork to scoop into your... Okay, but they're saying if you use a bigger fork, it'll tend to make you eat less. And they're saying that because if you use a small fork, smaller... forkfuls are going to be like, "Oh, I didn't get as much," so it's going to cause you to eat more. I think that's bullshit. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
I don't know. I do like using, like when I'm in weight loss mode, I'll use like teacup saucers for my dinner plate as opposed to a big ass dinner plate.
Yeah.
And pile that sumbitch as high as you want. Still not even a half of the food that's on your regular plate.
Yeah, another one.
Something about completing a plate of food, your brain goes, "Hey, that's all I need."
Yeah,
cool.
So smaller plates, I'll buy that. And I try and eat on smaller plates, not now, of course, because gotta be doing the Corona diet right now. But
you never know if we're gonna go into like complete like lockdown and people are gonna be like shooting guns all across the neighborhood. I want to have some weight on me if that shit happens.
I am really surprised too, because everybody they're always like 95% of Americans survive off of their paycheck to paycheck and stuff. And I told Chris, I was like, man, after like a week or so of this shit, a couple weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks, whatever. But after that, people are going to be riding in the street. They're going to be ripping street signs down, selling meth out the back door and stuff.
Really concerned. Like we're all fun and games and smiling or whatever. But like, I still think that there's like a week or two away. If shit doesn't change or if we don't start getting good news, like especially if they go, "Hey guys, we're gonna have to really buckle down and do another like month or whatever."
Oh, we're screwed, yeah.
Dude,
because they're gonna give everybody like what, 50 or 12 or $1,200, right, or $1,000,
just enough for a gun and a good old bag of meth.
Yeah,
amphetamine,
and like $1,000. Like that's not gonna affect credit cards or anything. Stay away from cell phones, everybody. Cell phones are full of bacteria. Is the next fact. I used to work with cell phones, and I will tell you that the worst part is that, if it's a guy, you're 100% positive that guy has used that phone to beat up before. So don't touch other people's phones. Is basically
the phone you're watching this show on right now.
It's like handshakes.
We know what you've done with this phone.
We know what you did. Yeah, and we're the same size as the screen right now. Anyway, the sexiest thing you've had on your phone. But yeah, phones are disgusting. Don't touch other people's phones. Longest living insect in the world. What would you guess?
Centipede.
No, I thought you were going to go cockroach, which was the first one that jumped into my brain. Longest living insect in the world. Turns out to be the humble termite.
Wow.
Yeah. But
how long does it live?
But I'm glad you asked. It can live as long as 100 years.
That's
100 years.
That's crazy. Wow, we were just talking the other. Like I used to watch houses for my parents and some other people, and one of the houses that my parents were renting out had a scorpion in it, and I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not gonna deal with it." So I took a cup and I waited for the scorpion to chill out for a second because they go really fast. They like zoom all over the room in every direction, and they're really unpredictable and extremely unnerving when you've got a scorpion and you're a Minnesotan dude. Anyways, I put a cup over the top of this thing, and I was like, it'll starve out, and my parents get back in like 5 months or some shit. It'll be dead by then. Fast forward like 5 months, and my dad goes in there and he sees the cup. I had told him about it, so he's like, oh, yeah, let's take a look and see what this big old scary scorpion looks like. He lifts up the cup, and the thing takes off running. Like, after 5 months,
That's so
no water,
insane.
no food.
That
So
shouldn't be
insects
able to
can
happen. That's bullshit. That's
insects
crazy.
have this ability to just shut down, like, when they don't have the, means to support
But
themselves.
how does he know that, like, the cup, like, if he's, like, really in some sort of cyber sleep or whatever, like, how would he be able to know that I don't know, that's some crazy shit. Chewing gum after a meal reduces heartburn. That's something I really want to try it at home. Try it at home. I want to hear what you guys come
if
up
you're
with.
like Piss and Chris, you know what heart.
Because I'm gonna make pizza tonight, and I'm gonna find out because I have gum and I have pizza, and I'm gonna make this
Speaking of
happen.
which, pizza time's coming up soon here, buddy.
It's coming up
The
very
episode
soon.
is-
I know. I'm gonna cram a few more facts because I'm gonna try and cut the chaff out of this episode because there was just some total.
Well, the start we got off to a little bit of a rocky start.
Yeah, but we're doing a new set, all that kind of stuff. So you guys got to give us a little bit of a whatever. God, look at how much I'm schwitzing here on camera. Oh God, this is great. All right,
Courtesy
so.
wipe.
But anyway, there's a scientific reason for this. Oh. So chewing gum after a meal reduces heartburn. So the turns out that the saliva that's stimulated by chewing gum becomes more alkaline, effectively neutralizing the acid reflux from eating your pizza after the show.
You remember that thing about vertical integration from 30 Rock?
Yeah.
That scares the shit out of me. Like, basically, companies...
Oh,
like,
this...
Like, if you make
Can we do...
antacid
Hold on.
products-
Let me announce it one more time. One more conspiracy time.
So, it's been rumored that certain companies or conglomerates of companies, like, for example, if you owned heartburn medication and you were selling that every day, wouldn't it be fantastic business-wise to also own, like, Cheetos and beer or something like that? Like, then you would not only own the solution, but you would own the problem as well or whatever. And,
Yeah.
You would control the problem.
Your company would be able to
reaction,
fix a problem that your company also created for
solution.
somebody.
Vertical integration.
Yeah. So that is terrifying. You know what's
And that
not...
is stuff that's going on. Maybe not Cheetos being like owned by Pepsi or something like that, but like it's very much stuff like that.
Did you know what's not terrifying though?
What?
That peanut can smell cancer. That's right. Study found that dogs who sit on their owner's lap generally means that they have a high propensity for cancerous risk, and it's generally in the area in which the dog is sitting.
What?
If the dog is sitting directly in the center of your lap, that means that you probably have ball cancer. You should probably talk to a physician immediately to get your balls removed because you are a dickless fuck who is totally a piece of shit. Okay,
Is
so
that
that's
all
that.
real?
Yeah, that's a direct quote that I just read there. So, you know what else is crazy? Bees can detect bombs. We're getting into the fucking crazy shit now.
This is the shit that
bees,
I want to hear. So
bees,
can
not
detect-
A's, but bees can detect bombs.
I only wanna wait. I only wanna see. Nope. I only wanna be with you.
Oh god, we could have harmonized there, and I fucked it up so bad. Okay, bees can detect bombs. If you thought that was impressive, bees are able to detect bombs with their tongues. Interesting.
I had a girlfriend like that once.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember you talking about her. Just as law enforcement uses dogs to sniff out explosives, bees can be trained. Hold on. The best part, I don't care that bees can smell bombs. They just use the line, bees can be trained. I'm gonna fucking YouTube that right after this episode and just be like, how to train a bee. I'm just gonna like train a whole hive to be like, okay, file my taxes.
Have you ever seen like a
and
guy tie a little
detect
string around a bee and
bomb.
the bee flies around? You can hold the string.
Bees can be trained to associate the scent with receiving food as a reward. So yeah, basically like Pavlovian training, right?
Sure.
I think that's a thing. So when the bee's handler sees it extend its proboscis, that's our word of the day, proboscis.
It's its tongue, I think, right?
Sure. Their proboscis. All right. That sounds like such a, we got Greg Proboscis on the show tonight. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Lou Gaines brought his proboscis.
So hold on. There's so many things. I'm going to unpack the sentence because there's so many things going on here. So when the bee's handler sees it extend its proboscis, they know they've got a bomb on their hands.
If there was a bee on this episode, it would be alerting us all over the place that there is a bomb on our hands.
Yeah, and it's in the form of every joke we've done so far tonight. But I can't let that go. I'm not just going to glance over that because you mean too much to us, damn it, the audience here. So when a bee's handler sees it extend its proboscis, they know they've got a bomb on their hands. So you're telling me that there's a crack team of beekeepers out there that are training their bees to detect bombs, and one of them's like, Jesus Christ, there's a fucking extended proboscis. Everybody on the fucking ground. I just used up all my swears in one sentence. That was awesome. Yeah, I'm going to call BS on that one, too.
The
I don't
idea
know.
was like, we should try to record an episode that we could show our mom, and I think we failed.
World's man.
Because we decided we swear too much on the show.
This is interesting. You ready for another weird one?
Sure. That's why I'm here.
So there's a company that all of us have been in love with since we were children. Most of us have been in love with since we were children.
Toys R Us.
And some of us have stepped on them as adults and children, and it's been very painful. But they're the world's biggest producer of something else. Can you guess what that is? What else would
Lego is the largest?
What else would Lego be the biggest producer of?
Some kind of plastic product.
Petroleum product.
Like Vaseline or something? I don't know.
No, it's actually tires.
Really?
Yeah, Lego is the world's biggest tire producer.
Oh, for the Lego tires, I wonder?
Yeah, so the toy company produces approximately 306 million tires per year, far more than any other manufacturer in the world.
Because their tires are this big or whatever.
They may be tiny toy tires, but the fact still stands. All right, the longest...
Michelin, Goodyear, and all those guys, Firestone. Lego makes.
Lego stomps them out.
Is it like individually or all those guys combined?
So it's just the amount of tires produced. So it could be a huge truck tire or a little tiny Lego tire. The largest volume of tires produced annually is by the Lego company.
Must like do injection molds or something like that for those little tires because they have that seam.
Yeah, they got the seam that goes. But I think regular tires are like that too because regular tires have the seams and shit on them, and they've got those little nipples that stick off and stuff. That's all from I'm assuming injection molding, some sort of molding.
What would those little nipple things be for? Because they got to just like rub off after no time at all of using them.
The nipples?
There's like little
on
fringy things.
Yeah, on like a regular tire, right? Yeah. That's to I don't know. Those are usually how you tell if like how new a tire is and all that kind of shit. Real scientific here on 6 Deep. The importance. Do you know why the word sweater dresses is so profound?
Sweater dresses.
Sweater dresses.
Is it
It's one word. Nope.
What do you call that? Homophone?
It's a homophone?
Yeah. Phone for calling gay
for
guys.
For calling gay guys, right? It's actually it's the longest word you can type with your left hand. Sweater dresses. It's kind of interesting. Okay. We're gonna do a couple more and then we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, you ready? And what more just rips?
Dresses has got to be like a hyphenated word.
Nope, it's just one straight through, just sweater dresses, which I think is kind of bullshit because
two different words.
Yes, it should be sweater dresses. It shouldn't be sweater dresses. My girlfriend loves to wear sweater dresses.
Sweater dresses.
Sweater dresses.
My girlfriend's sweater dresses. Wait, what?
My girlfriend's sweater dresses.
My girlfriend
are generally
dresses.
smelling like tits. Tit dirt. Okay. Naps. We all love naps. Naps could actually save your life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Research
I
is...
never take naps, so I'm listening.
Well, you're about to fucking die then. Researchers have found that a midday nap can make you more creative, focused, and fresh for the rest of the day. But one study also found that they can also reduce your risk of a heart attack. A heart attack. Specifically, those who regularly nap were found to be 37% less likely to die from a heart attack or other coronary ailments than those who work straight through the day.
If I take a nap in the middle of the day, I'm just worthless for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
That sounds like bullshit.
Naps. That's kind of weird. I wonder, well, nobody takes more naps than my Hispanic neighbors, the Mexicans. I'd love to find out if the Mexican life expectancy is generally longer than people that don't
Here's our
nap.
next segment. Ask a Mexican. Piss will call up one of his
Oh, dude, I'll call Enrique right now and be like, hey, yo, fool, how much you nap, dog? He'll be like, fuck, I'm sleeping right now, fool. All right, so...
There's some people out there that just love sleep. I never understood that. I'm a insomniac.
I guess we're going into like some more, this is a night program, so we're going to do some sleepy kind of facts here. You ready? So along with the napping, if you really want to maximize your naposity and you really want to reduce your risk of heart attacks and shit, you should sleep in a hammock.
Ooh.
A hammock.
I do like sleeping in a hammock.
That's right. Swiss scientists, the best. Swiss scientists, there's nobody better.
The best.
The Syrian scientists have found that the rocking motion from a hammock leads to nappers enjoying a longer period of N2. Oh, that's the good shit. N2 sleep. And increased slow oscillations and sleep spindles. These are all things you want from your hammock. Hammock stocks goes through the roof right after 6 Deep announces
Do we have a hammock somewhere?
We do. We've got one. I've got one in my room right now. And guess what? I'm not sleeping on it. I'm sleeping on this bullshit, super expensive foam mattress, and I could have been sleeping in this.
Still like that foam mattress?
No, I hate it. And guess what? You with a foam mattress, you can't. The worst part is with buying any mattress aside from going to a mattress store and buying it. This whole like online. That's the new conspiracy is mattress buying online. But you watch review like anything else, and it's like some guy and he like lays on the bed and he's like, oh, this is the one. So you're like, well, that's the one. I mean, the guy gave it like 9 out of 10 mattresses, so it's got to be the best mattress. So you buy it, you truck it all the way over here, I had to look it up a flight of stairs, and then like you cut the whole bag open, you wait for 3 days for the thing to inflate. They always in the commercials they make it look like you cut the bag open and it's like fully inflated. And it's like, oh my god, me and my wife really had a wonderful sleep tonight. No, it takes like 2 days to fully inflate, and then
I didn't know.
And then on top of that, it has this off-gassing process, so it just reeks like chemicals in your room for like, it's a good amount of time too, like at least 2-3 days before that all goes away.
Wow.
Whereas you could just get yourself a hammock and be enjoying some of the best N2 sleep of your life.
Kind of Tempur-Pedic kind of things. Aren't they like really hot? Like, don't they make you really warm? Don't you sweat out?
Well, you see, Chris, with the foam mattresses patented cooling technology, you can sleep like
Does it have that, or do you...
Mine doesn't. I didn't fork for it. Which you would have thought in living in Arizona that would have. Oh yeah. It's just.
I just feel like it would make a body glove.
It just hot boxes ass sweat for 8 hours.
All right, one last great fact, buddy, and then we got to end her.
Okay, I'm not going to do that because that's about babies, and I don't care about babies.
Man, 3 days to inflate a foam mattress. That is something I just learned on this episode.
All right, I'll leave you with this. What other animal besides humans enjoys eating spicy foods?
I'm going to say
the
chinchilla.
You're wrong, because no other animal besides humans enjoy eating spicy foods.
Got me with a trick question at the end.
It's an evolutionary mystery that scientists have had trouble explaining, but humans are the only animals who actually enjoy eating spicy foods.
It's funny when you give the dog like a piece of like hot chicken, like whatever, like a spicy chicken wing. The dog digs the chicken, but you can tell it doesn't dig the spice.
There does not seem to be any health benefits to eating painful peppers, though some research finds that it may fight off fungus, of all things. Fungus.
I wonder if like the really bad water in Mexico has anything to do with how much they like spicy foods.
What? We're
'Cause I don't know. You're gonna get diarrhea anyways. So
you get so you're saying that the water is just filtered diarrhea
no,
water,
I'm saying like they
Or-
drink this water that's
Yeah.
got all these pathogens,
and then you get diarrhea.
Hot food gives you diarrhea.
The hot
too, so
food
if you're-
also gives you diarrhea.
You're already going there.
So you're just saying that all of Mexico just constantly has diarrhea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to phone a Mexican on that one. I'm
Haven't
just gonna be like, you
eaten
guys,
what they eat?
have you ever? I'm gonna just call up all my Mexican buddies and be like, have you ever had a solid dump in Mexico? And then we'll see what they say.
Have you ever had a solid dump, hecho and Estados Unidos?
Well, of course, yeah. There's so much cheese here. We love cheese.
Got that queso fresco over there. Which again
last
seems
one,
like a light, dumpy kind of cheese.
Humans are not the only ones to enjoy spicy food. They're also the only ones to suffer from brain shrinkage. That's right. As we get older, our brains tend to shrink and can suffer from cognitive dysfunction like Alzheimer's disease and dementia. But as the best researchers can tell, we are the only animals to whom this shrinkage happens. And let me tell you,
maybe.
I was going to say, it's not just getting out of a pool that causes brain shrinkage. It's for real. And then the best part is they link to the most depressing article I've ever heard of ever. 40 ways your body changes after 40. All right. Anyway, that's all we have for facts with Piss on the Facts. All right. And this has been a
Piss
wonderful
on
episode. Thank you
facts.
so much to Chris for being back on here with our wonderful peanut. As always, we've got the beautiful set that we're going to keep massaging until we've got it just right. And you guys have been so great for putting up with us on this
Massaging
another
the set.
amazing episode of Six Deep, where we change hearts, minds, and spirits. We're looking forward to seeing you guys next time on Six Deep with Piss and Chris. Now cue the bitchin' graphic.